like it is.
Trump is a disaster. Hopefully our party will come to its senses, because if Trump is our candidate, we will lose on a scale that McGovern lost.
I think our governor actually got the question he needed, and I think he owned the question. I think the back and forth with Rand Paul was outstanding on it for him.
The focus kept shifting back to Donald Trump, who was acerbic and colorful.
First of all, these lenders aren't babies. These are total killers. These are not the nice, sweet little people that you think, okay?
Is Trump starting to seem plausible?
I think he's starting to seem less plausible. I think he's saying what people want to hear, but to me, he's not coming across as presidential.
I think Fox is doing a really good job. I think they're being tough on these candidates, which I think is some people may be surprised by. And I think there's a few candidates standing out. I think Marco Rubio is standing out. I think Governor Christie's done a good job.
I like my governor. My governor is fighting when he has to fight. He rolled up his sleeves and can throw a punch when he needs to. At the same time, he's been well-behaved when he thought he had to be well-behaved, and I think that shows his diplomacy.
Christie and Mike Huckabee disagreed on Christie's proposal to means test Social Security and Medicare.
Governor Huckabee says he can save Social Security and Medicare without doing any of that. Is he lying?
No, he's not lying. He's just wrong. I mean, so there's a difference. Listen, I'm the only guy on this stage who's put out a detailed 12-point plan on entitlement reform, and here's why. Because 71% of federal spending right now is on entitlements and debt service. 71%. And we have spent the last hour and 5 minutes talking about the other 29%. If we don't deal with this problem, it will bankrupt our country or lead to massive tax increases, neither one that we want in this country.
Whose fault is it that the system is screwed up? Is it the recipients or is it the government? And if Congress wants to mess with the retirement program, why don't we let them start by changing their retirement program and not have one, instead of talking about getting rid of Social Security and Medicare? I just think it's fundamentally lying to the people and stealing from them, and we shouldn't be doing it.
I don't disagree with ending Congress's retirement program. I'm a governor. I don't have a retirement program in my state, and I don't disagree with that. But here's the news for the American people. He's complaining about the lying and stealing. The lying and stealing has already occurred. The trust fund is filled with IOUs. We can't fix the problem just by entering Congress's retirement. That's worth about this much.
At the next break, we kicked it around.
Do I have to interview you? So, Mike, what's your impression so far?
I think it's a good debate. I think Trump is gaining plausibility, unlike Bob Uden here, who thinks he's a disaster. And who else said to me that he was a disaster?
Not only now, but if he were to become our candidate.
Chris Russell said it too, but
he's moving to Bergen County anyways.
Show of hands, if you think Trump is helping himself today, raise your hand. If you think he's hurting himself, raise your hand.
Huh.
What if you don't know?
He doesn't look
the reason he's helping himself is because, in my judgment, he's dominating the discussion.
At the start of the evening, our guests ranked the candidates from first place to 10th, with Bush in first, followed by Kasich, Rubio, and Christie in fourth. After the debate, they ranked them again. Kasich and Christie moved up to 1 and 2. Bush slipped from 1 to 4. So who won?
When you have that many people on the stage, I don't think anybody wins. I'm looking for a good result from our governor, and I think we got it.
I think Fox News won tonight. I can't imagine that ratings aren't through the roof.
The questions were great. The Fox News anchors did a fantastic job. The Governor Christie actually was very good, except there was a feeling like you didn't see him very much.
The governor did very well. I wish there could have been, he could have had more time.
Tonight there was a feeling, a Super Bowl feeling in the room that this is a big event, must-see TV.
The debate format played really well. I think the moderators did a good job. I think Governor Christie did a good job. I think the back and forth between him and Rand Paul is going to get a lot of secondary play post-debate.
I thought Rubio did a great job. I thought Kasich did. I thought Christie did. I thought Ted Cruz did. And I thought Jeb Bush did a decent job. I thought Trump was lackluster, and I think it's going to hurt him.
I thought all the candidates performed very well this evening. I think all of them would serve a great position in the Christie administration when he becomes president. Even Donald Trump.
What we're seeing right now on social media is that Donald Trump is still #1 in terms of Google searches and what's trending right now immediately after this debate.
I think in the end, Jeb Bush was the biggest loser. He looked tense. disappointed that he even had to be on the stage in a contest at all. He wanted to be crowned this position, the nominee, and I think he's the biggest loser tonight. John Kasich actually came across pretty nice. He had good answers, I thought. Governor Christie did a very good job.
The next debate and the next watch party are on September 16th. In Newark, I'm Michael Aaron, NJTV News.
A hometown hero heads for the stratosphere. That tops tonight's Garden State Express. Our first stop, Metuchen, celebrating St. Joseph's High School alum Mark Vandehei, selected by NASA for the Expeditions 51 and 52 crew aboard the International Space Station. The Army colonel, a vet of Operation Iraqi Freedom, was chosen from a pool of 3,564 candidates. He'll join Russian astronauts conducting research to advance NASA's journey to Mars. Meantime, he's learning to dine on space soup. He says the Russians know their soups. Vandehei joins Mark Kelly of West Orange, Montclair's Buzz Aldrin, Wally Schirra of Hackensack, and close to a dozen more astronauts who hail from New Jersey. Next to Hopewell Township and a big dig on the 1730s-era Phillips farm. John Phillips was among the first settlers in Pleasant Valley. Hunter Research has already uncovered his grist mill, one-room schoolhouse, and part of a stone cellar wall. Now they're enlisting teens to help excavate what they suspect is the actual farmhouse. The campers came upon ceramic pieces, old nails, animal bones, and 18th century red ware. If they find the house in good shape, it'll become part of the Howell Living History Farm. Finally, Pilesgrove Township, where they grow them big. Tomatoes, that is. And this year's winner in the Salem County Fair's largest tomato contest is also the youngest. He's 11-year-old Cody Wright. Veteran competitors have elaborate strategies for producing big tomatoes. Some put night lights on them and cover them and grow them on straw and use special fertilizer like seaweed. But Cody doesn't have a secret. He just picks the one that looks the biggest. His burpee weighed in at 2.35 pounds, which, as competitive tomatoes go, especially in this tough growing season, is one big tomato. And that's our Garden State Express for Friday, August 7th. Something up in your town? Tip us off. Hispanics in North Jersey form one of the state's most powerful voter blocs. And while they care about the candidate's stance on foreign and economic policy and social issues, the so many candidates, so little time debate format left them frustrated, particularly when it came to the thorny subject of immigration. Brenda Flanagan reports.
They need to consider the Hispanic vote if they want to go to the White House.
And at their Chamber of Commerce luncheon, the movers and shakers in New Jersey's Hispanic business community talked shop and rated last night's GOP debaters. Donald Trump.
If it weren't for me, you wouldn't even be talking about illegal immigration, Chris.
Trump was a clown yesterday, and I felt that he's not sensitive enough to be president.
Most agreed Trump's strident anti-Mexican build a border wall rant still outrages an Hispanic community hungry for meaningful immigration reform.
The Mexican government is much smarter, much sharper, much more cunning, and they send the bad ones over because they don't want to pay for them, they don't want to take care of them. Why should they when the stupid leaders of the United States will do it for them? And that's what's happening, whether you like it or not.
How dare you say things about people like that? I just don't get it. I'm not too happy. I don't want to go ballistic and go off.
With the venom with which, it is being spewed by Trump and others, it criminalizes the whole process, and that scares us.
Right now, everybody is focused on the same enemy, basically.
Trump.
Yes.
Jeb Bush's plan, finding a way to let undocumented immigrants earn legal status without awarding amnesty, struck a positive note.
That the great majority of people coming here illegally have no other option. They want to provide for their family. But we need to control our border. It's our responsibility to pick and choose who comes in.
I want to hear more of what he has to say. I don't think he's the best speaker,
but I think his core values say something about him.
I agree. A path to citizenship is the answer. So they want something better for their family, so they're willing to come over here and work 2-3 jobs, work 12 hours a day, and our economy counts on them is the bottom line. So if you try to deport the illegal immigrants, our economy will fall apart.
Many like to
hear him talk enough about it, and so that's an issue I think that he's going to have to attack more.
The debate format with it surprised me, and I also like Marco Rubio because he was very specific with his response, and I thought Jeb Bush did pretty well too.
Almost every hospital in the state is being penalized, again, for failing to provide the kind of follow-up care that would keep elderly patients with chronic conditions from being repeatedly readmitted. The penalty is a cut in Medicare reimbursements in a field where every federal reimbursement counts. Brianna Venozzi reports.
The cuts total nearly $23 million for the state, and just about every hospital in New Jersey will feel it. 64 out of 65 hospitals are being hit with penalties in the form of lower Medicare reimbursements, the result of high patient readmission rates.
When you look at that kind of number, you've got to say, this isn't rational. This isn't a good measure.
The president and CEO of the nonprofit group New Jersey Healthcare Quality Institute says the federal government needs to reevaluate how hospitals are measured and start including socioeconomic factors. Despite improvements in New Jersey, this is the second year in a row nearly every hospital was hit, and it's the highest rate in the nation.
When people do not have primary access to primary care, when people do not have money, they get less access to care. We know that. You need to adjust for that as you look at quality.
Readmissions is more than just a hospital problem. It's really a community problem. We have to work with